As much of it as we can bring to you is where we have been, what's happening to the campus right now, and what is the future. We know there's a sheriff's cell that's off in the distance here. We've got some organizers and some stakeholders that are going to be setting the table of where's the Scotland campus been, and that enormous fence that goes around this historic property. There are a lot of questions that we're going to try to get to you to this evening here as we bring you to the orchards in Chambersburg. The Scotland campus is on topic, a full house here, and as soon as they're ready to start, we'll have some of the noise in the background as we get closer to New Year's. But we're live here with News Talk 103.7 FM and our social media channels, Tri-State Alert TV on the Facebook side and also on the X portion of News Talk 103.7 FM. Our special thanks to 1720 Media for putting this all together at such short notice. So we'll wait for the commentary, and you're watching it live as it happens here with News Talk 103.7 FM. I'm going to take this microphone and put it closer to our speaker.
Seats up here that are available. Nate, you're gonna sit up front somewhere. Yes, you have 1, 2, 3, 4.
There's 3
We
here.
have some more chairs over here.
You can take 3 here. He wanted the call letters for the station. 7FM, statealert.com. Okay. All right. Very good. Take these 3. I'll just move my cell phone over.
Are these available?
Yes, these 3 seats are available. All right. I move my laptop so it's away.
Is that your bag underneath?
Possibly, yeah. Let me. If you could just kick it out a little bit so it's out of your way. Sorry. Still got. Is anyone sitting next to you? Okay. Is there anyone sitting next to you? I think we're getting there.
For any of you standing in the back, if you don't want to stand, we've got 3 extra chairs over here. So there's extra seating up front. If you're not shy and bashful and you want to come up here where we all can see you, come on up. We've got more people walking in. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Scotland Estate Town Hall. So, is it cold enough outside for you guys? Pretty cold, right? So we're going to get this started on the count of 3. I want everybody to clap one time. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we're getting this party started. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Pete Rivera. I'm here on behalf of our newly formed corporation. 3 corporations have come together to form one specifically for this project. Hopefully we can bring the value that we intend to bring to this wonderful, amazing community. So what we'd like to do is just tell you that Primal Sports Charities with Steve Joltz is here in the room. Steve, stand and wave, please. R&R Construction, everybody here knows Nate. Nate Richards, please stand, please. Also, we have Susan Doan. Everybody, please, Susan Doan. And my name is Pete Rivera. Thank you for coming. So 3 corporations have come together to form the Scotland Estate Incorporation. Next slide. Oh, everybody has a sign-in sheet at your table. So if you could sign in on your sign-in sheet, that would be great. And also, we also have the important contact sheet. So please take note of all the important contacts. And then we also have the historical timeline for the Scotland School for Veterans Children sheet, as well as the liens and judgments against the property. So everybody has that in front of you. Please take note. And there's what now?
There's extras in the back.
And there's extras on the back table. So if you need some more, there's extras on the back table. All right, so let's get this party started. Are you guys awake? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That was weak, guys. 1, 2, 3. All right, let's go. All right, can everybody hear me okay? All right, we're gonna make this as fast as possible. We got a lot of ground to cover, so I'm gonna go really, really fast, okay? We're gonna give you some good information. So the Scotland Estate Inc., that's Steve Jeltz, Nate Richards, Susan Doan, myself, Christy Jeltz, Rod Muhammad, and Calvin. Where's Calvin at? Calvin, stand up. Calvin Shearer, all right. Excellent. Okay, so our agenda is we're going to do introductions, which we just did, mission and vision, property status, the Scotland School Veterans Children's Campus, which is now also the Scotland Estate Inc. project, okay? What we'd like to do is go over our higher education and recreation destination plans, our resident veterans workforce plans, our tourist destination plans, our value proposition, the revenue streams, the next steps, and then we're going to open it up for questions, okay? Sound good? Sound good?
Yeah.
All right, good.
Sir,
Yes,
so what I just heard was possible veterans home,
we are,
possible visitor center,
yes.
and what else?
So we're going to go into it right now.
Okay, but I just wanted to get it in my head. You said it so fast.
Okay, so here it is. Our goal, go back. All right, so revenue streams, value prop, tourist destination, residents, veterans, workforce, higher education, and recreation destination. Okay, so here we go. Next slide. So our goal today is to communicate the current status of the campus, okay, the Chambersburg Mall, which is a whole nother site, as well as our intention for the campus and our vision for the campus for each Plan A, which is the Scotland Estate, and Plan B, the mall, okay? So, our team is Nate Richards, are in our construction. Nate, why don't you come up here and talk a little bit about yourself to everybody so everybody can really fully understand who you are and what you're all about. And if there's anybody in this room that doesn't yet know this young fellow, I'd be surprised, because everybody knows him. All right, take it
Thank you,
away.
Pete. Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming. My name's Nate Richards, and I'm going to just explain how I got myself involved in this project. I grew up in Chambersburg, and after college got into construction, and then found myself concentrating in historical construction carpentry. And I have been a long time resident of the country club, and this summer, leaving the country club, I've just watched the buildings decay day after day, and ended up making a phone call in the interest of the campus when I saw that it came up for sale. I went on a few different tours of the campus throughout the months, and during that time, each tour of the campus was worse and worse each week as I went on the property. During that time, my team and I rehomed a homeless family from the property. It cost us a few $1,000s to successfully get them off that campus, clean out the cottage that they had been living in, put them in another rental property in town that a friend of mine graciously opened to them, and then we're able to get them into a homeless shelter again. That, amongst other things, we tried to mow the campus at the request of the current owners this summer. We put security cameras out there this summer at the request of the current owners, and a few weeks after their request to do that, they requested us to take them down. So we did, and we weren't on campus since then. Many of you may know that we were recently in court. We went to court to support the current note holder for the campus, who is Gable Holdings. They are a group out of Florida and have owned the note for a few years now, but are owed a lot of money by the MSLH group out of New Jersey. It's been a very long, strenuous few months. But along the way, I was able to meet some great people and form a great team that we all came together with a good vision for the property. And my main goal for the property was to restore all the historical buildings, bring the property back to its beautiful self again, and utilize it for our community in ways, that are, anybody could imagine. The pools out there, the fields out there for sports activities, underprivileged youth, and veterans especially. And I had a vision of trying to utilize veterans on that property somehow, because it was built for veterans' children of the Civil War. That's why it was built. And there's posters back there from a gentleman, Bill Peck, who does great work and has a heart of gold and loves this campus more than anybody, from as far as I can tell. And just the history alone needs saved, let alone, the stories that I'm sure many of you could tell about that property more than I can. I played soccer out there growing up, but just the architecture and the buildings themselves, I believe, need saved, and the stories need to be told. During that time of my tours, I was lucky enough to meet a gentleman, Steve Jeltz. I met him through contacts on the campus. Our visions were very similar. He is a military brat, I may say, right? And a great man of faith, and we joined forces and came together, got a great plan for the property, and I'm going to bring him up next so he can introduce himself and say a few words about his dreams and goals for this property.
All right, give it up for Steve.
Hello, everybody. My name's Steve Jeltz. Played with the Phillies back in the 80s. Nate mentioned that I was a military brat. I was born in Paris, France in 1959, so I'll be 67 years old this year. Kind of the senior of the group that we have together, and I don't know, that's kind of stressful for me sometimes, but I have to go back. I hear my dad's voice, Command Sergeant Major William Nelson Jeltz, who I started this nonprofit organization and legacy of. He was in Korea twice, Vietnam, then he ended up in the Pentagon and the White House at one time doing special work. I didn't know that until his third retirement, and 3 5-star generals came to his retirement in Topeka, Kansas, and I came back from Philly to witness his retirement. And when they started talking about my dad, tears came to my eyes. I had no idea what he was and who he was. But I know how I was raised, and there's no lying in me. It's a thing that we grew up with in the 60s and 70s, that we cared about people. And I think that's what brought me back to when I came back here, and then I met Nate and this community. It reminded me of that. People care about each other around here. People care about that campus more than anything. And when I saw what was going on at that campus, the first thing I saw was this 40-foot tall Jesus when I pulled up. And I'm like, I looked at it and I went, and it was like, he was like, okay, you're home. And this was 2 years ago. So when I came down and looked at it, then this other group bought it in the meantime. I came out and looked at it, and the second time when I went back down after that, the Jesus was gone. And so they had plans for me to join forces with them. Now, I know a lot of people playing professional baseball for 11 years, 8.5 in the big leagues, and my infield was Mike Schmidt, Pete Rose, and Joe Morgan when I was 24 years old. So I was truly blessed. I tell people I was a supporting cast in that whole deal. So, I stayed there. We won the National League in '83. But, I think about how blessed I've been and the way I learned how to play this game. And it was from the old timers, and it was old school baseball. It wasn't launch angles and rotation speeds and celebrations out at second base and standing at home plate, hit a home run and watch it, that kind of thing. None of that happened, because I'll tell you now, If you hit a home run off a lefty, or you hit a home run off of Nolan Ryan or anybody else pretty much in the league, and stood there and watched it, your teammates are about to get on you. Because the next guy that comes up to the plate's getting one right there. And then when you come back around, you're getting one right there. So you had a respect for the game. You didn't do all the celebration. You respected your opponents and you respected yourself enough to realize, yeah, it was a good thing, but baseball's a failure sport. So you fail 7 times out of 10, you're in the Hall of Fame. So that's I tell kids all the time, I said, we're here to learn how to play this game, and it's about life skills and teaching the kids how to interact for the rest of their lives. And that's what's important. We check grades at Primal Sports because I have youth baseball teams. We're open to doing soccer. We're going to do sports and all kinds of stuff we'll get into later. Did you have a slide you wanted me to go to from here? You want me to wait? Okay, all right, I'll do that in a minute. So at any rate, I came here and I'm here, and people ask me a lot, why was I here? And what makes you want to stay here? And it's you guys. This is what I saw when I was growing up. Things were different in the 50s and 60s and 70s, I understand, but there was just some calm about this whole thing. And then it was a community that I haven't seen. And like I said, I'll be 67 in May. And, everybody's here, you know each other and you're open and honest. And, my father was that man. He always said, don't ever lie to me. He said, there's 2 things I don't tolerate. That's a liar and a thief. And if you're one, you're the other. He said, there's nothing on this earth make me lie to you. And I look at people in this room and I understand that's what I'm feeling around me now. And that makes me feel good. And what's happening now in this world is these kids have lost that. I think it's the internet and, yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir, is automatic when I was growing up. If you didn't do it, you stood out. Now I tell the kids, if you do that, you will stand out. So we try to teach the kids the right thing, and then we go to the veterans, and I'm a military brat. So, I think veterans, the way I was raised, I think that's good for these kids to kind of see what that looks. I think they all need to go to boot camp. So, put them in boot camp and they'll be fine. But thank you very much. I'm going to let Pete take over.
Y'all give it up for Steve Jeltz one more time. Loud and proud. Philadelphia Phillies, shortstop. Tough act to follow. Well, guys, I did not play for the Philadelphia Phillies, but I am proud to tell you that I am a proud American. I was born in Queens, Jamaica, Queens. I grew up in Bayamon, Puerto Rico. I'm the whitest Puerto Rican you've ever seen. But I did grow up in Eastern North Carolina after that at the age of 9. So I've been stateside since 1979. I'm also proud to tell you that I may not have made it to the major leagues in baseball, but I did make it to the Olympic qualifiers for boxing in 1996. So that was the 1996 Olympics. Well, through all that, we're just humble servants. We just want to bring good value to this community. And I emulate what Steve Jeltz just said. I too am a military brat. I was raised by a Marine Corps major, and my bed better have been made. I better have been able to do those push-ups, stand in the corner when I didn't do right, look up at the ceiling to see if there's a spider to entertain me, and that's how I grew up. So that having been said, we want to bring that flavor and that wonderful good core values to this campus, and we want to make sure that we're honoring this community. So this campus will not work without a community buy-in, and for it to actually deliver exactly what you want it to be, to bring that good American flavor and feel that Steve just got through talking about. So that having been said, that's pretty much it about me. One more last thing. I'm wearing this pin right here. I'm humbled and honored to be able to tell you that the wife of Muhammad Ali wrote an essay to the White House on my behalf for all of our humanitarian work. And lo and behold, the wife of Muhammad Ali, Khalila Camacho Ali, was able to get the White House to recognize our humanitarian work. So I was awarded on behalf of our organization, Rebel Nation Enterprises, the President's Lifetime Achievement Award directly from the White House. One last thing before this represents Susan and myself. One more thing. The White House will be behind us on this.
And that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, so the White House is going to support us on this. Without further ado, Enough about the brawn, here's the brains, Susan Dunn.
Calvin.
Oh, Calvin didn't want to speak. Okay, do you want to come up and say anything?
Chicken.
He wants to be humble. Just, do you want to do your tap dance now? No. Oh, okay, all right. So enough about the brawn, here's the brains, Susan Dunn. So give it up for Susan Dunn.
Hi, my name's Susan Doan, and I'm an integral part of the Rebel Nation Enterprises team. My background is mostly business operations, anything from finance, accounting, project management. My background is basically operations, so I basically do the finance, accounting, project management,
Admin.
anything administrative. The presentation you're seeing tonight, that's my role. I basically herd cats, so I keep the boys in line, and I'm really excited. I am originally from Pennsylvania. I grew up in Bucks County, went to Millersville, go Marauders, and I now live in Raleigh, North Carolina, but Pennsylvania is still home. So that's one reason why I'm involved in this project. And we were truly blessed last summer meeting. We work with Larry Holmes, the heavyweight champion boxer. We're actually go every year to his golf tournament, and we're putting together his feature film. And last summer we got to meet Steve Jeltz, and that's where this whole journey started, was we were talking to Steve at the golf tournament. So we had a deep connection with Steve, and then our paths crossed in a very unique way. That Murad Muhammad, who was a boxing promoter, he was brought this campus for visions that he had. And I called Steve and I said, hey, do you know anything about this campus? And he's like, funny, we're looking to buy that too. So we ended up joining forces. So that's how we all ended up coming together. So thanks to Larry Holmes and Diane Holmes that we got to meet Steve Jeltz to become part of this team. So, and then who else we have?
Christy's not here.
Christy and Murad Muhammad. Murad Muhammad, he owns M&M Sports. As I mentioned, he's a boxing promoter. He had over 50 world champions fight for him, and he was the only boxing promoter back when they did an investigation in boxing that came out clean. A lot of the other boxing promoters got their hands slapped or sent to prison, that sort of thing. So he's a really good-hearted man, and he is all about doing work for children and veterans. So he's part of our team as well. So
Okay, into the mission. Okay.
turn it over back to Pete.
Thank you so much, Susan. Give it up for Susan Dunn. Okay. She's trying to work faster than the microphone battery will die. So, all right, yes.
Christy's at the airport taking my daughter.
Okay, Christy's at the airport taking his daughter, and
She's flying back to California.
she's flying back to California. So, but she looks forward to meeting you all as soon as she's back around. Okay, so the reason we're all here is for this mission, right? So the mission is to bring and to create a synergistic destination conjoining a higher education institute, not a children's campus, a higher education institute with trades, with a community recreation and sports complex that Steve Jeltz is overqualified to touch children, while featuring Pennsylvania's historical orphanage, soon to become the state's newest revitalized state monument and national museum. So I'm going to work with the White House and I'm going to work with this country to get that building into becoming a national museum. So the vision is to originate a self-sustaining mission-first institute where purpose and prosperity go hand in hand, encompassing an engine of economic growth for this community, heritage, pride in the building, and life-changing opportunities focusing on restoration and preservation of the historical campus, tourism, events, and recreation. We're looking at possibly, God willing, making it so that it becomes so great that people want to come and stay for the weekend, and so that would warrant a hotel in time if we can even get there. A veteran service-centric campus and workforce development so that the veterans can move into those cottages, work the campus, and earn their keep and earn their stay here. which is why we cannot conflate veterans being on the campus and children going to school there and staying on the campus. So we had to decide whether we're going to go with a higher education and institute with veterans and not have any kind of chance for any kind of mishaps. So that's the route that we went. Now, the children can come and be under Steve's guide in the sports complex, but they go home to their families after they do their sports on the campus.
Excuse me, could you tell me what we mean by higher education?
I'm getting ready to go into all of it. It's all your questions for the most part will be answered slide by slide in detail. So youth empowerment and education collaboration, community services, health and wellness, and a full-blown production studios for film, music, AI, technology, and gaming. So those are the kind of things that we would like, and it's our intentions to bring to this campus. All right, next slide. Okay, so Steve, do you want to go into the history of this, or do you want me to keep rolling? This is, okay, are you sure? Because you're this is you mainly. So basically I've learned from Steve and Nate, with all their trials and tribulations, that prior to us, they put in an LOI through Nate's company, R&R Construction, a $10 million LOI. And they were so close to getting it. And for some reason or another, Nate and his company were denied access to the campus. So then we got together, and then we upped the ante, all of us together, and all of us together put in a bid for $15 million. And they said, great, we have a deal, let's do this. And then 3 days later when I contacted them, they were like, well, sorry, we didn't hear from you, so we went with another group. And another group came in with $17 million. And they were supposed to have closed by now. And they had a quick fire sale where it was going to be closed and sold within like 10 days. So we contacted that group, and they wanted us to join them. And then we worked out an agreement, and then they've reneged on everything. They've been ghost. So as far as I know, they've ghosted the opportunity, they've ghosted us, they've ghosted the note holders, and they've just disappeared. That was the Choates family of companies. And then the next important date is coming up January 9th, which is the sheriff's sale. And that's our intentions, is to be at that sheriff's sale. We're working with Wes. He wants us to get in the pole position. He trusts us with the plan for the community. He's going to stay on board with us and work with us. And he wants to support Steve and Nate. And because of Wes' relationships with Nate and Steve, we have a really good, valuable resource in Wes who really wants us to take the campus and make it flourish and bring it back to life.
Who's Wes? It's not the sheriff.
You gotta explain who Wes
Okay,
is.
so
Gable Holdings.
So Wes is currently the note holder, right? And he's got a lien on the property. He just recently, because Steve and Nate and Calvin all had to go to court with Wes, Steve was able to help Wes seize the property and have physical control of the property. Do you want to come up and say to the story? Because you were in court. I was in court. You were on the stand. You had to answer the judge, and he had the courtroom in stitches. Everybody wanted his autograph, and the judge wanted his autograph and a picture, and he wanted to do court because of this man. But anyway, tell the story.
Yeah, so I think it's important to understand that when Nate put in that $10 million LOI, they turned it down. We'll go back to that $15 million LOI Rebel Nation put in. Now, they don't know I'm even a part of this. They're coming in at Rebel Nation, so MSLH was trying to get into a venture with them. They said they had the Choates family law that was going to join forces with them after the fact, after they told us we had a deal. And then 3 days later, I told him that it was going to be a bid war, and I didn't really trust what they were saying. And I thought, well, at this particular point in time, if we got it, then let's see a contract and let's get started. 3 days later, like he said, oh, we have a $17 million bid. So I don't know how we went from we have a deal to there's a $7. So it was just like I said, it was a bid war. Okay, so I said, we go no higher. We're done. So then they came back to us and said, they want to do a JV with you, 50-50 JV. I said, okay, I need to see a JV agreement and a contract. What are you talking about? They came back to us and said, they sent this to us and said, we put $500,000 in a crypto vault. We need to send them $250,000 to cover our half. They had $10,000 down for us to give them for good faith money. and they wanted proof of funds from us for $17 million. I said, well, if it's 50-50, how come it's not 8.5? And so I said, you know what, I need to see a contract. This went back and forth for 3 days. So I mentioned this for the simple fact that it's been bothering me for a while. On Wednesday, I told everybody, I said, I need to see a contract, and they came back with the answer from supposedly Choate's Law, that said, I want to see the contract in the JV so I can run it by my legal team, who is, Weir Law out of Philadelphia. Brett Datto is a good friend of mine, 40 years. He's the president of the Darren Dalton Foundation. I'm an ambassador for the Darren Dalton Foundation. Darren was a catcher in Philly who died of glioblastoma. So Darren and I came out of Kansas together. So he's like my brother. We came out, nobody knew who we were. He was driving a Toyota Supra, I was driving a Smokin Bandit Trans Am. And we drove from Lawrence, Kansas to Clearwater, Florida, and started playing minor league baseball. And so that's how that went. So Darren and I go way back. So I said, I want our law firm to look at this. They represent Dick Yingling, by the way. So I've known Brett 40 years, and I said, I need to see a contract. And I said, that's the first thing my law firm is going to say. Where's the contract? What are we talking about? So they didn't send it. Their response was, we have internal counsel, and we don't negotiate with outside law firms. And I was like, okay, I'm done. Now I say that for this reason, because I sat on that stand in court, and the defense attorney asked me, was I still interested in purchasing the Scotland campus? They had just told us the day before, we don't negotiate with outside counsel, and we're going to do this with you or without you. And at that point, I said, well, I'm out. I'm done. If you're already going to buy it, I don't want anything to do with this because I'm not getting in bed with you. I can't see a contract. I can't see a JV. So that's why I say what I said. When I sat on that stand and said I wasn't interested, that was the absolute truth. I told you I'll never lie to you about anything. I thought they were buying it. So we fast forward now. They were supposedly going to go into this venture. We didn't get what we wanted. We backed away. Then Pete got another phone call, and they said, well, for some reason they aren't responding to us. And I said, so where's that contract they had? They never had a contract, just like I thought. So it was a waste of our time. So they wanted us to come back in at $17 million. And Pete said, okay. I said, no, we had a bid. We put in 15 and you said we had a deal. So then he said, oh, yeah, okay, well, that'll be fine. But the key to that is, and this is the rabbi, the key to that is we have to do it quickly. Now I know what's going on. Now, I already knew, but I really know now. So you're trying to beat this sheriff's sale or whatever's going to happen. You're trying to get bailed out. And we know the note holders, so that's what we're going to do. That's our next move. And we're just going to wait this thing out. Okay, we're going to see what's going to happen. If you file bankruptcy, if you go into foreclosure, whatever happens, we're not going to be the ones to deal with that. We didn't buy the note because of what the judge ordered, and I kind of knew that was getting ready to happen. Wes asked us to buy the note, and we said, we're going to wait on this. And they said, well, we can get to it. I said, no, we don't want that note now. I said, we buy that note now. What the judge said when we walked out of the courtroom was, I want 24-hour security on that property, and MSLH is responsible for it, and if they don't pay for it, guess who has to pay for it? The note holder. So now that's $37,000 a month for 24-hour security for 31 days. So that's why we stepped back. I said, I wrote the contract up, and I set it up, and he ordered that all the windows be boarded up right now. That was Friday, needed to be done. So I put the contracts together, talked to the electric companies, did all that. Electricians, we had 400 man hours. There were local electricians that were coming together, and they got them. We put their estimate in, we put our estimate in, and then we went around and counted every window, every door, what it was going to take for us to board this up, and a couple of them are 60 foot up, and we need lifts and all that. So we put that in, and they told us to get on the property. And this is on Friday when I sent it to them. Saturday, no response. Sunday, no response. Now, the judge said he wanted it the next day on Thursday. He said, I want this done immediately. So Sunday comes around at 4:17 p.m. We got a phone call, or I got a phone call, and he said, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see that until now. I'm like, well, the judge said tomorrow. What's the holdup here? And they said, well, you need to just get out there and we'll do this. I said, not until you sign the contract and put money in my account. You got 300 liens on the property. You got, I'm not getting in the lien position here. I said, the judge said you bill every 5 days. And they put that on us. They're going to bill us we're to bill them every 5 days, and if they don't pay it, MSLH doesn't pay it. It goes to the note holder in Florida. He's got 10 days, and then maybe we get paid. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I said, you put $37,200 in my bank account, and then I'll put guys on this campus so I can pay them, because if I hire somebody to work, I'm going to pay them first. I said, if I get caught up, sometimes that happens in business, and but I always get enough money to make sure my guys are paid first. So that's what that was all about. So they turned us away, and they decided, yes?
Can we use the fence to board up the windows?
Yeah, I love it.
Can we use the fence, please?
I'm telling you, so he's like, we're just going to get that fence out of there. It's horrible. You bring that up, and it's like when I pull it back out there after all those years, after all those months of not being out there, and then Jesus was gone, and they wanted me to lease out the entire property and do what I wanted to do, and they were going to use it for 2 months for their camp. And I get out there and I see this fence, and I'm like, what in the world is that? And then I get in and I see Jesus is gone. And I'm like, and then they tell me what they're doing, and I just looked at them. I'm already a no, right? I'm like, they said, well, we want you to lease, and we can do this and that, and we'll carry this for you, and we'll hold that for you. And I'm like, so I'm going to pay for this property for you, is what you're telling me. I said, no, that's not going to work. I'm out of here. And so they weren't real happy that I said that, and they wanted to still talk to me. And I said, no, I don't have time. I'm out of here. And so I left. Well, here we are now. I said it wasn't going to work. When you took Jesus away, I knew it wasn't going to work. So, now all of a sudden we're back and come full circle, and that's where we're at now. So the fence.
I am serious.
I know
Instead of
you.
spending money on lumber, let's use the fence to board the windows.
Board up the windows. Yeah.
Jesus is sitting along 81.
I know,
Yeah,
I just
yeah, I
found it this
understand.
morning.
Yeah, I understand.
They're moving him to different places.
Right now, what we have to do is what we've done. Now, the security company was ordered to be on that campus, and I wouldn't go on because they wouldn't pay it in advance. I said, I'll give you a credit for 5 days, and you guys battle it out of who's going to pay for it. And every 5 days, I'll give you a credit and go off of that. But the idea of the fence boarding, the windows being boarded up, we gave them an estimate for that. Now, these are millionaires that, Wes has got plenty of money, but he doesn't want to he's already being held they're holding $5 million, and he needs his money, and his investors group is getting on him about it, and so he said, man, I don't want to just do that. They're supposed to pay for it. Well, what I understand is, it's supposed to be boarded up. Well, it's still not boarded up, and I went out today and let CBS on so they could take pictures, and I called the security guard, and I said, is there somebody out there that we can get in, because I'm doing a live CBS interview in Carlisle, and he said, no, we're not, they pulled us off of there. He said, we're only there at night. I said, well, the judge said 24 hours a day. Are the windows being boarded up? No, nothing's happening out there. So I went out there. Now I know there's a kid out there that kind of tracked us and when we went on, but that's what that was all about. So just getting past all that in your fence and using it to board up the windows, we're ready to do whatever, whenever.
Cut costs where you can, and then maybe, you use it somewhere else.
Right, something. We'll do something, but we have to go by the judge's order right now, and so that's the first thing. And when they didn't want to comply with that in a timely fashion, and now I see that that's not happening the way it was supposed to happen, I have to step back away from that. It's an order from the court, so the judge will deal with that. I'm going to leave that all alone. Pete wanted me to talk about when I came out there early on.
Yes.
The damage and the conditions of the property.
Before they got involved, there was so much damage. And because of Calvin, Nate, and Steve, next pop-up. Go, that's you.
So we had a conversation about it. I went after I met Nate and Calvin. Nate and Calvin pretty much, I can't take it. They did what they did. They got the farmer to come out and bale it. Then they went out with 3 John Deere tractors, correct, and then mowed it. Put the trail cams out there because there was no electricity. And started monitoring, which they had to pay for that when they moved the guy off the property and his family, 3 kids that the MSLH group had moved on to be a handyman. He had 3 kids and his wife, and then when they abandoned the place, they left him there with no power, no lights, no water. So when I went out and looked at it, I said, well, you can't stay here like this. You know, if family services comes in, they're going to take your kids. Just understand, I know what I'm talking about here. So we sat down with him, and Calvin got Ross. What's Ross's last name? Ross, thank you for doing what you did. Ross came in, and I gave him my word that we would see to it, yes. Ross came in and opened the house up for them, and they kind of screwed that up, and eventually they're somewhere else now. So, you know, all these things, I say this to say all these things that we're doing right now, I'm doing this to try and bring that property back. I heard so many stories about their childhood ventures through that campus, just riding by and all the sports that's going on. And so people ask me, why am I here? And like I said, I'll say it again, I'm here for you guys. I said, I see what's happening. I see ground contamination, water contamination. Oh, by the way, I sit on that stand and said that the pipes had been frozen. They wasn't winterized last month. So they had a civil engineer come in, and they asked him, the defense asked him, well, is there any damage to those pipes? And he said no. So now I look like a liar. Well, I took that, you know me, I'm like, uh-oh. I said, I don't like that. And now I want to just walk up to him and look at him and say, you don't even know. I have my builder down here who built the Washington National Stadium. He built the Phillies indoor facility, their showcase field in Philadelphia. He's a huge builder, Ken Jacoby. He's helping me out with this project, helping us out with this project and laying everything out. And we walked that property. Okay, it hadn't been winterized. There are broken pipes, there are water everywhere. So after the court date and the court order came out and the realtor saw it for the other side, he called up Wes in Florida and said, oh, by the way, they saw the court order. Turn it on the water. He said, I wouldn't turn that water on. You might have water leaks. Now, this man stood on the stand, Abraham, whose name it's under, and said, we had a company come out here and blow out those water lines and there's no water leaks. And then as soon as he got it, they called up the note holder and said, don't turn the water on. So, you know, those are the kind of things that bother me, because I come with the truth. If I don't know, I'll tell you that I don't know. And, you know, if I don't know, there's people here that I can call up and they can figure it out, or you guys can figure it out. You know what's going on out here. So that's what I do. And I just want everybody to know that what we're trying to do, I'm not one of those people coming in here. I know a lot of people from Charles Barkley and, you know, Smitty, Mike Schmidt, and all the guys that I played with, and I know entertainers, and they know plenty. We can come in here, but I'm not coming in here to build something and take money and run. I live here. I live in Carlisle, but I live here. And so, you know, I took to this community, and Nate and his family and friends and Dr. Richards, everybody's been so kind, and it reminds me of home. It touches my heart. So I came here solely, when I call people in here, they're here and they know what we're doing here, and we're trying to do something for this community and for the kids around here. So that's what we're doing. And it's not about doing something and getting money and running, and that's what we're afraid of if somebody else comes in. So we're doing our best, the best we can to make this happen.
That's heart and passion. Heart and passion. Yes.
Just real quick. I think we all appreciate your intent, and that's cool. But you can't do anything until you acquire it.
Correct.
Okay, so I've just added up, there's $1.8 million worth of mechanics liens which get paid first.
Right.
I'm a former banker.
Correct.
And then there's a $5 million note behind it, so that's $6.8 million in debt.
Yep.
And you don't have to answer this if you don't want. Are y'all willing to pay $7 million for it?
Of course.
Okay, real quick, let me think.
No. Are you willing?
Of
Wait,
course.
you had your time.
Yeah, of course. That's why we're here. We wouldn't be here otherwise.
$7 million satisfies the liens.
Correct.
7.5.
So we're going to go over all the money here in a minute.
But y'all are kind of already in for that, right?
We are prepared to move full steam ahead.
No, you're comfortable with the $7 million.
Yes. Yes.
And you got the capital to do it?
We are very comfortable with proceeding.
That's all I wanted to do.
What about
Okay.
underground utilities that are likely inoperable and would need to be replaced?
As well as the plumbing and the pipes
This
and
is
the water
underground.
and the
This
sewer.
is underground, so
Yeah,
just let me be aware of that.
it's north of a $50 million endeavor just to get in there.
Right. I just want you guys to understand that,
Right.
so we don't get somebody building a fence and leave it.
Right,
Because we've now done
understand,
this enough. People come in and gonna do something like
understood,
and they're out.
understood,
And
so,
some people live right beside this campus.
Exactly.
And that is their retirement home.
Exactly,
And if
understood.
you put something there that's gonna lower their value of their home,
Right.
And the retirement is gone.
There you
So
go.
we do care.
I understand you do, that's why you're
We
here.
care.
I understand you do, and that's why you're
So
here.
just don't put off the questions. Like the banker that for 30 years, he's a smart banker.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, so.
Please don't talk down on him.
Did I talk down on
No, we're not talking down on anybody.
I didn't mean to.
We're not talking down on anybody. So what I want to say,
I
not
don't
our
want
part.
to hear that you have money galore.
okay,
No, no,
okay,
And
let,
the White House is behind you because they make a ton of promises.
Would you like to come up
We
and,
just need to make sure.
would you like to come up and take care of?
I got it.
Okay.
Okay, so real quick, so I can answer to catch up with what she's talking about. I said my builder came down here, who built the Washington National Stadium. Okay, he walked this property. I mean, he took 3 hours. It takes him 3 hours to get here, and then he walked this campus with me for 3 hours underground. Then he's got a plan set up. Ken Jacoby Construction. He's got a plan set up to know what we need to do. Okay, he's huge. He knows exactly what you're talking about. You're absolutely right. Underground, the first thing he said, we got to put all new water and all new sewer coming in here right away. He said the infrastructure that has to happen here is incredible. We have done a deep dive on this. The remodeling of the cottages, we're thinking about turning them into 36 cottages into 72 townhomes. He said anything over 5,000 square feet has to have a sprinkler system in it. So we're trying to, and the sprinkler systems in the larger buildings, which there are some, are outdated. So they all have to be changed. So when you start talking about have we dug into this, believe me, we have gone through this from underground all the way to the top. There are a lot of risks to be done, so that's where we're at, all right? Did I answer you okay?
Yeah, I just want to make sure everyone's aware of it.
Sure.
And they're not promising things that they weren't aware of.
Right, no,
Maybe they
we
didn't know about the underground stuff.
right, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, and to say this, the note holder that we didn't buy the note from, like I said before, because I knew what was getting ready to happen. I'm 67 years old, so this isn't my first rodeo. I don't know about all that. The banker knows what he's talking about, absolutely. But the note holder actually told me, and if the banker hears me say that, say what I'm going to say. If I'm wrong, let me know. But he said, no, Steve. He said, we were worried about somebody coming in because of the damage and because of what's going on and bidding it for $3 million and getting it or whatever. And just changing names is what they would probably do, but that's not possible. He said, Steve, he said, they owe me $7.5 million by January the 9th. Okay, he said, there's a credit bid in already for $7.5 million. So it has to go above that. Now, what we're trying to do is make sure, and that's what MSLH is trying to do, is pay off some of the liens and the debts and all that. All those drop off. All those are going to drop off. If this thing goes to foreclosure, and all that, those are gone. So, if they file bankruptcy, that's some of the things that are going to happen. But we've talked through a lot of that. And believe me, when I said I believe in this community, and that's why I'm here, believe me, I'm not just talking. I don't make promises. I'm just like, I don't know what the outcome's going to be. We're playing this one out, but we're playing it cautiously. So we understand what's going
But
on.
when you say they're going to file bankruptcy and their liens are gone, that means Carter Lumber's money's gone.
Exactly.
So that's why, when it's so flippantly said, it's just very...
It's things...
That flippantness doesn't sit well with me. Carter Lumber is out the money of that shitty looking fence.
Exactly. And but understand this. I feel the same way you do. Make no mistake about it. That's why I'm still here. That's why I didn't run away.
I appreciate that.
Okay, so that's what this is all about. We've come together and we're trying to make something happen. That's positive, but we know exactly what we're running into. Okay? We got it all.
And we're here with transparency and open hearts, and this is not going to work unless all of you are involved with this, which is why we're here. So you're emulating the same essence, that our actions are ahead of your words in this very manner right now, with this open transparency to come up with a collaborative plan for all of us to get behind. So we're just going to share with you our intent. We don't know that our intent's going to work. We're showing you effort, goodwill, and good faith. And that's all we can do. And then have an open dialogue every step of the way with full transparency every step of the way. First thing we want to do is get rid of, to your point and to your credit, and I want everybody to clap, we're getting rid of that god-awful fence. So we're going to get rid of that god-awful fence. So, and look, we appreciate your passion, and if you want to come up and take over the mic and share anything else, please let me know. We'll make room for that. So, because this is a community town hall. That having been said, I'm going to hurry up and get through this, and then we're going to open it up to questions, okay? So let's hurry and run. This is our vision for the campus. And again, these are raw ideas, and it's going to take a community buy-in to make these ideas work, okay? Because this doesn't work without all of us being on the same page. All right, so a higher education and trades institute for mechanical and construction, service and hospitality, performing arts and media, aquaponics and hydroponics. Is everybody here, can everybody here get behind the Higher Education Institute for that campus? Okay. So the Scotland Estate Institute would be electrical, plumbing, HVAC, welding, carpentry, auto mechanics, cosmetology, massage therapy, culinary arts, zoology, which is brewing, theater and drama, filmmaking, digital cinema, music production and dance, indoor fish farming integrated with indoor vertical plant growing. Okay, cool? Good? Okay. Now, athletics and recreation. Having a big, huge new compound to add to the old compounds for baseball, softball, basketball, soccer, volleyball, tennis, weightlifting, weight training, physical training, health and wellness. So we want to have the original basketball gym brought back. We want a newer sports gym, the pool facility completely revitalized, a shooting range that they already have, it's airsoft guns, it's not guns. And then a bowling alley that we want to revitalize on the campus for everybody to use, everybody here, as well as a revolutionary indoor and outdoor sports complex. We want to have Nate's dreams come true for a disc golf, yes.
On the indoor and outdoor sports complex. We spoke with Green Township previously.
Louder. Okay, well, I gotta fly through this.
Yeah, I know
This is gonna die.
I know, we got another battery.
We got a battery right
Yeah,
here.
we got a battery. So the indoor complex, that's where we come in, it's sporting complex. We spoke with Green Township early on, and they said, I walked over there and saw that baseball field that they have with the concession stands and the scoreboard and the batting cages. And I walked onto the field and I said, this is a major league field. When's the last time you guys used this? And he said, about 6 weeks ago. And I was like, oh my goodness, I could have had this pumping going all baseball tournaments are big. So I could have had that going. And they said, well, we want to build more fields and an indoor facility. And I said, well, we're going to build an indoor facility. So why don't we, since you're right at the back door of this team up and we'll build an indoor facility and we're going to make this all a collaborative effort. That's what we're trying to do here. And like I said, I'm not just talking. It's above my pay grade, but Pete told me don't ever say that. I said, well, it is, but I got people that know exactly how this is supposed to work. And I can pick up the phone and make all this happen, provided we have that opportunity. And we're at the judges and the court system's mercy at this particular point in time to see what these people are going to do. And we can't get in bed with that because I don't trust any of them. So I just have to sit back and I have to wait. And so that's what we're doing. We're getting ourselves prepped for it. We have our plan B for the mall, and we have plan A, which is Scotland State, Scotland campus, and making that come back. So that's what we're talking about right now. And like I said, the passion that she just showed, and that's what I've been saying all along, huh, Nate? I've been saying, how can anybody do this if people live here? There are wells that are being contaminated possibly. You got the Conica Jig right there, and they've made a dump site here. What's going on? How is this even possible? So I was upset about it, and that's why I'm still here. I'm not walking away from what I just saw. I said, God put me in this spot. I'm going to do what I can to help. Yes, ma'am.
You do know that EPA is involved because of the trash that was buried on the campus?
Yes, ma'am. I got the DEP myself.
I just want to make sure.
Right, okay, no, understand. You hear my words that I have gone. Right now, let me give you that one, okay? The DEP, Shannon Huss, was the first person that I talked to. He came out and looked at it. We met with Environmental Crimes Director Justice Brentley from the Attorney General's office, and we met at Nate's dad's house, actually, because he couldn't go on the property because it's a criminal investigation. So we had a good conversation with him. We also met with Sarah Bartram, his last name Bartram, from Fish and Boat because of the water contamination. So I got a text message just before I went into court on that Thursday, and Justice Bradley told me from the Attorney General's Office of Environmental Crime, told me that we now have an active investigation. I tried to get the judge a note letting him know that because I couldn't get the case number, but he can. Just so he knew, because he called me the morning before. And so I said, well, let me just get this to him so he knows there's actually an active criminal investigation. So to your question, the DEP Fish and Boat, and Environmental Crimes Director Justin Bramley from the Attorney General's office now are filing active criminal lawsuits against MSLE. So that's what's going on.
Thank you, Steve. I'm going to try to get through this so we can get to all your questions. Okay, so we're big in film production. As Susan said, we're producing the Easton Assassins movie, Larry Holmes' feature film for all theaters around the world. So we're the executive producers for that film. That's how we met Steve. So we're going to bring our film production facilities here to that campus for film, music, gaming, AI, and tech production. Our our president for our corporation has over 300 patents for IBM and Lenovo. Lenovo laptops are the #1 laptop companies in the world through metrics, sales metrics, because of our president, so he's involved with this as well. We're going to bring a streaming show on campus so that everybody can see what we're doing on campus with full transparency on a show, so everybody can be involved. Like this is being streamed live right now. We're going to be streaming from our campus as well. We have nothing to hide. We want full transparency. We want community involvement every step of the way. All right, so the Scotland Estate Inc. Productions, we're going to have podcasts, a historical docuseries about the campus from 1895 on up. And all of the history, and many of you here know it better than us, so we'll be leaning on you to get all the goods. Also, we're going to do an unscripted show and have everything on the campus being featured. We're also going to bring the Pennsylvania Hall of Fame. We're bringing the Pennsylvania State of Commonwealth Hall of Fame here to this campus. That's what we're doing. So we're creating the Hall of Fame, and we're bringing it here to this campus so that we can be the #1 tourist destination and bring in all those tourist dollars. We care that much. So we see you're caring, and we raise you some a little bit more extra out-of-the-box caring so that we can all win together. I think that this would be good for this community to have a Hall of Fame here in your backyard. So yes, we definitely want to get rid of that god-awful fence and replace it with something that's more honoring to our Hall of Fame that we're bringing. Last thing is we're going to do the tourism, and after the Biltmore Estate, we're going to send you a little video, show you a little video about what the Biltmore Estate does, but we want the new National Museum to feature the entire school's journey, the orphanage journey, the Civil War experience. We're going to collaborate with Gettysburg and Gettysburg Tours, and then we're going to have a gift shop, and then we're going to have some festivals like Oktoberfest and Springfest on the campus to bring in tourism from all around the region. Does this sound good? Yeah. All right, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. All right, perfect. Next. Okay, so
I get it.
do you want to do this one, Susan?
Yeah.
Okay, Susan Dunn's going to talk about this next slide.
Speaking of the fence, someone recommended that we have a party when the fence comes down. Bonfire, okay. But yeah, make sure the fire department's there, because I know in my family, my dad has a history of burning things down and the fire department has to come. So veterans workforce. So this is something that's very important to us, as obviously Steve and Pete, their fathers were in the military, my grandfather was in the military, so veteran services is very key. So thank you. So we're partnering with Valor Clinic, I believe, and Bronco, who runs that program. We've had several conversations with them, and what we're looking at doing is veterans go through his program and they get kind of accommodated, getting acclimated with being back in the real world. And when they graduate from that program, our plan is to bring them onto our Scotland Estate or onto, the Chambersburg Mall, whichever one we end up getting. They will be there. They'll be an integral part of the campus. They'll be helping we'll have set up housing for them. So whether or not it'll be a veteran, we may set up a veteran dorm. And a lot of those veterans that are coming out of these programs are separated from their family and their kids. Their wives and their children go live with their in-laws, and they're not together because the husbands are too unstable. Or the woman, because nowadays it could be a female as well. So what we're looking at doing is, maybe putting the male veterans in a dorm, and then the families with the children might be in the cottages. Cottages, townhouses, and then they're integrated, they're on the same campus, and they can spend more time together, and once there's full integration and comfort and they're going to go through counseling and that sort of thing, then the family can be cohesively brought back together. But until they're stable and are able to be together in a stable home, is it dying?
You go, sir.
So, okay, I got it.
Next slide.
Not yet.
Oh, sorry.
Please go back.
Got
Yeah, so those veterans, our plan is to bring them in. They'll be helping with maintenance, the landscaping, providing security on the campus, helping Steve and all the athletics. We're looking at bringing tournaments, having multiple fields, baseball fields, soccer fields. You know, they'll be there to help with all these activities that are happening on campus, giving those veterans a sense of purpose, possibly even being mentors to some of these the youth that are going to be on campus. So, and then also at the same time being provided with health, wellness, coping skills, learning all those skills that they can get through if they're still having the PTSD or any of those problems. So really focusing on veterans. The other thing, obviously we're bringing a lot of trades. One of the key things that we want to bring, besides all the vocational programs, woodworking, metal shop, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, is the aquaponics, indoor vertical growing. We also want to do some workforce partnerships with local colleges to see if we can get some involvement there. So, there we go. I wanted to get into the aquaponics. Yes, sir.
I'd just like to say, a lot of this stuff that we got, the information, the information that we got and the investigation when we got the DEP and Fish and Boat and environmental crimes come in, a lot of that information, when I first came out to the campus and it was beautiful, and I said it was pristine, and they tried to throw that down, you know, in the trash in court too. They came back, was it pristine? No. Well, it was when I went out there. And I say that to say that Denny Martin, Denny, are you here?
Yes, he is. No, we left.
He did? Okay, well, Denny used to take care of that campus, and I'm not sure if any of you been out there, but it was beautiful. Every time you went out there, and they discredited me in court saying it wasn't beautiful, and I said, listen, I would have never known it looked like it looked when 16 months later it looks like it looks now. So that's why I'm not happy. I'm like, who does this? This is intentional. The people live here, they live in this community, so I'm with you. As angry as you are, you have no idea. I just have to kind of talk to him because, you know, when I start picking up the phone, people start moving. And it's like, you know, we need to get this done, get it done the right way and protect the community. So Denny, he's not here now. Give Denny a hand because Denny's going to be the one handling landscaping. He's going to be back on it.
So one of the key things that we want to bring to the community is the aquaponics, hydroponics, where it's basically you're using the indoor shrimp farming, fish farming, and you feed the fish and the shrimp good food, and then their water gets circulated through, and you create all these green leafy vegetables, and you can grow 5 times more food in 1 acre than you can on an acre of ground. You're also saving significant water. You don't have, it's indoors, so you have less waters needed to keep those plants. They're in water, so they're getting plenty of water. There's no pesticides, so you don't have to worry about fertilizers. Everything's organic, and the plants look like that. They're lush, they're healthy. And we actually have numerous people that have done this in the United States as well as in Africa, and they are on board to help us get these started here. And this would be something that would be able to feed, not only it would be a self-sustaining campus, but also be able to use for the community to eat these vegetables and everything that's grown here as well. The fish, the shrimp, everything would be edible and that you would be able to have yourselves.
Okay. There you go. We backed up. We just backed up.
Okay. So athletics, obviously, this is Steve's forte.
He's already said everything.
Huh?
He's already said everything.
Oh yeah. So we really want to have a community place for everyone here. So whether it's adult leagues, children's little league, like that sort of thing, having tournaments for your travel teams. I know Calvin has to go all over creation to take his daughter to volleyball tournaments. be nice if he could just go in his backyard and have a tournament here one weekend. He wouldn't have to go to West Virginia or Philly or wherever he goes. So during the summer, kids are always out of school. What are you going to do with the kids in the summertime? You have to work. Let's send them to a camp. Oh, Scotland Estate has baseball camps. They have tennis camps, cross-country camps. You know, whatever those kind of athletic camps that could happen for your children, they will be able to promote those here on the campus. So, okay, the next thing, we got lots of facilities on the Scotland Estate that we're looking at. So we have the 700-seat auditorium. So we can now bring programs back. We can have shows. We can have concerts, music festivals. You could have comedy shows, have comedians come in occasionally, as well as, you know, there's the whole sound system, there's a movie screen. Let's bring in some feature films every once in a while. You could have them in there, because I know it's like, what, 20 minutes, half hour to the nearest movie theater down in Hagerstown or up in Carlisle. So, you know, have some movies there. So we have a lot of things we could do at that auditorium. We have the outdoor amphitheater, so we've thought about having different festivals throughout the year. And then you could do award ceremonies, you could do graduations, bringing all that back. And I know the church was rented out a lot from different parishes and churches throughout the community, and now being able to open the doors that they can use that church again. So we want to bring this community that you guys can go back in, and I know I've talked to some people here. They used to go walk the campus all the time, and they loved it. We want to have that back, that you guys have the ability to go on the campus, enjoy the beauty of the campus, and really enjoy what's in your backyard. Another thing that we talked about, and Nate, his dad, his family, I've been on calls with them about trying to set up some healthcare facilities on campus. I do work in the healthcare industry, and I know that it can be a little cumbersome to try and set up a new facility. You have to go through state regulations and all that. So we may be able to just set up in the short term more like a college campus healthcare, like you have your nurse who's on site, so if somebody breaks an arm or finger or whatever, common cold, they take care of those things. But having a full-blown, like, urgent care, doctor's office, hospital on the campus might be a little more long-term down the road. So just to give you a heads up on that. But what we would like to do is be able to set up educational programs for the community, you know, teaching people healthy habits. I know I get calls, you know, from your insurance company. Oh, you know, you have diabetes. Why don't you come to this session? You know, we could have free sessions out in the community for people to learn about whatever diseases they may have, and then basically they could come out, attend these sessions, come out to a class and learn how to do meditation, stress coping skills, learn those types of skills. Whether it's us, our age, or taking our kids to things like that, so that they're not having anxiety because they have a test coming up. Teaching them some of those skills, they're life skills. It's good to have that, and if we can bring that to the community, that you can share that with your children, I think it would be a blessing. Can you go back, please? Okay, I did talk about it.
Don't forget this part.
What? Oh, yeah. One thing that I have to add that I know is Nate's passion is he loves disc golf. Everybody, you or your kids love to go play disc golf, but that's one feature we want to put on the campus. So you can come out, not only go walk the campus, but go play some disc golf with your kids. So value proposition, you know, we have a lot of people that are our targeted audience for what we're envisioning on the campus. So the youth obviously is some education, learning trades, mentorship, and obviously the athletics. That's the key thing. Veterans, we really want to provide them housing, give them, provide some health care, provide job skills, job security, and you know, really giving them a purpose after serving our country and trying to get them back on their feet. You know, I think having a good, solid job that has meaning will be a huge benefit to those veterans. And then schools and athletes, you know, as I mentioned, there's having a beautiful campus here that for athletics, so whether we put in basketball courts, soccer fields, volleyball fields, field hockey fields, you know, and then being able to have wrestling tournaments, having people coming in from all over the country for tournaments here, all over the state at least, you know, being able to come to the Scotland Estates for an event. So local community, again, creating recreation for youth. Enjoy your community. Get out there, play in tournaments, play in, you know, whether you're one development against another in a, you know, badminton tournament or something like that. Health and wellness, and then we have the arts, like we said, in the church and the amphitheaters, like getting some musicians in here, getting some festivals going, really kind of bringing some arts and leisure to the community. And then from a township and county perspective, all these activities we're talking about is job creation, tourism, bringing tourism to the area, providing additional tax revenue for food sales, hotel sales. And then even the commissions on tournaments and that sort of thing, there would be revenue being generated by the county. And then one of the biggest things we've heard from numerous people is the alumni from Scotland School for Veterans Children want to have the property open back up, that they can come back on campus, look at the campus, have their reunions there. They miss doing that, and then so being able to have them back on campus. Yes, ma'am.
Did that include a museum which was taken from us?
Yes.
Yes.
A lot of that stuff, we've been working with Bill Peck, and he has a lot of that stuff already in his possession. So we are talking about the main building we've had a picture on the slide, that's going to be what we're going to consider the museum, and part of that will have the alumni museum in there.
Oh.
Yes.
Not
So.
Not the laundry.
No.
We had the laundry building.
Yeah, no, it's going to be in the main building across from the church. That's going to be where we're looking at putting, as Pete mentioned, there's going to be the Pennsylvania Hall of Fame. There's the alumni museum, as well as just like we even talked about, like having a section throughout there that might be like, you know, since it was the foundation of the estate was based on the orphans, the estate, the Scotland School for Veterans Children, the orphans. You know, what are some key important orphans that made huge strides in the U.S., like kind of centering on some of the orphans in the areas that in the country. So we talked about that. So our next steps, as we talked about, you know, we are very passionate and we do want to acquire the Scotland School for Veterans Children. As Steve has communicated, we've run into a little bit of challenges. So we're trying our best to get through those challenges, and we do have an offer out there. We're hoping and keeping our fingers crossed and saying our prayers that we get it. So we're going to try and secure the LOI and get the property purchased. And obviously we know there's all the liens and all that, so we'll work our best to get all that taken care of.
Okay.
Standing
I've got to get to the video, so we're almost out of time. They want me to run the video.
Okay.
So can you come here and help run the video? Because it's stuck on this slide and I need your help running the video.
All right. So one of the things that Pete wants to show, and for those of you who have not been down to the Biltmore Estate, as I mentioned, it's in North Carolina. It was a Vanderbilt estate built at the turn of the century in the 1890s, 1900. And it's a fully self-sustaining estate. And this is kind of where we envision the Scotland Estate going to. So, where are you at?
I just want to shut down the slides and then play the video.
You don't have to shut the slides down.
Is this not? But it's not showing. That's what I was trying to tell you. That's why you got to shut down the slides. All right, while she does that, I'll talk real quick. Okay, guys, thank you, Susan, appreciate it. Since we're almost out of time and I can feel the temperature of the room, we're gonna get to the question session right after this video. We're gonna show you a 1-minute long video, and then we'll go straight into the questions, okay, guys? So thank you for your patience. And what we're gonna do is gonna show you that the Scotland estate can look and feel just like the Biltmore estate on a micro level. So the Scotland estate, if we make 1% of what the Biltmore estate makes, then we will make about $8 million a year for this community. Here we go.
Put the speaker down
And
here.
exploring all that it has to offer. And the first thing we're doing is visiting the largest house in the U.S., which is 178,000 square feet and has more than 250 rooms that we get to explore today.
Because we're staying at the Inn on Biltmore Estate, we were able to get here.
I'm sorry?
Early. We left our place at around 8:30 a.m. and got here. And as you can see, there's no one around. We had this place all to ourselves.
Okay, so you're familiar with the Biltmore estate?
Estate?
Okay, perfect. So is everybody here familiar with the Biltmore estate? Okay, well, good. Well, if you're familiar with it, then that's great. We don't have to show the video. So the building that was built here on campus in 1895 was built the same year as the Biltmore estate. It was built with a lot of the same architecture. So we're trying to leverage that synergy to bring tourism here. So that's the anchor to bring people to this community. Okay? And so that's basically it. It's a proven, tested business model. We've studied the Biltmore Estate business model. We're trying to bring that business model here to the Scotland Estate. That is the relevance, okay? That's basically it. With that, I'd like to open it up for, let's bring the team up here, Nate and Steve and Susan and Calvin, get up here, just stand up here. This is our team. We're pouring our heart, energy, and soul and effort and our money into this, taking the risk ourselves for the benefit of everyone here. So I hope that you can appreciate us taking the risk for everyone here. So with that, without further ado, we're going to open it up to questions, okay? So I know this gentleman behind you has had his hand up, so I'm going to go to him, then I'm going to go to you next. So yes, sir.
I saw you had slides you couldn't get to. How does this fit in with the mall?
Okay, thank you very much. So that was plan B. They told me to run the video because we're out of time and everybody's getting antsy. So if the sheriff's sale happens, and we're not able to get the property for whatever reason, we don't know, but our intent is to get it, then Plan B is the mall. Okay? If we start at Plan B and somebody else gets the property, Plan A, which is Scotland Estate, and they're doing whatever it is they're doing with it, we're in the waiting wings for that to come back around. But in the meantime, we'll take all of our energy and effort that we're planning to do for the Scotland Estate and still keep that same value to this community at the Chambersburg Mall. It's going to look a little bit different, some of the same core pieces, but Steve Jones' Spooky Nook business model is a very good business model for all kids and development in this community. Yes, ma'am.
So is this organization the same one that was going to go on Letterkenny with the...
No.
So it's not. So
Nope.
there was supposedly a group that was going to put a Spooky Nook facility.
That's Green Township's issue. That's nothing to do with this.
Okay.
What's your timeline for all this? I mean, you
It
guys.
depends on those sheriffs,
kitchen
so,
sink out.
yeah.
And I'm more for a sports facility. You got this Letterkenny property that is, you could build right now, but you're gonna go in on this.
So you say you have one already you can build right now?
We
It's
were
in Letterkenny. I heard about it. It's been
3
Well,
years.
They've been talking about it for years, but it's not.
I don't know anything about the property,
Yeah.
so.
Lida was
But
going to donate.
please let me know about it
50
after the
acres.
meeting.
okay.
So go ahead.
Lida was supposed to donate 50 acres to an organization that was going to put up a Spooky Nook type athletic facility.
Okay.
And I didn't know if that was this organization.
We don't know anything about it. This is new
No, but
information.
I would love to get your contact
If you got-
information,
if you
get
got-
that
Absolutely,
information.
yeah. Let's get the
You're going
contact.
to go through all of this, what is the priority list and what takes, priority in this bill, you guys put out everything. You
There's
got
a lot.
housing, you
I
got
know it.
school,
But yeah,
you're
the
building
first-
a town.
Right.
Right, we are, and that's
Right.
what's happening. So the
Which
first
takes
thing,
a
like I
long
said,
time.
It does.
I had my builder come down here because he's familiar with all this.
Okay.
And that's the reason why MSLH failed, because they didn't have a plan.
prepare.
They didn't prepare for this, and they aren't close. So I went to the best of the best to find out, what we need to do and have him off this property. So when I say that his phase one was getting the 36 cottages turned into 72 townhomes, and then starting to work with and once we get that done, and the infrastructure as far as all the sewer and water that has to be changed out, everything.
That whole infrastructure
Everything's got to be changed, so.
It changed out 15 years ago.
Oh, sure, and it's exactly.
There's gas leaks.
So you understand, we do, you're right. And this is what I like about this, because we all talk about it, but believe me, like I said, I might not look 67, but I've been around for a while, and I know when I wouldn't know. You probably knew more than I did when I first started this 2 years ago, and I had my builder come up here and tell me, this is what needs to happen. So that's what I do. I make sure things work the right way. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was the original owner of the daycare center that was on Scotland
Oh,
campus.
awesome. Okay.
He actually renovated one of the buildings for
Okay.
me, but there's gas leaks into
Oh,
that
yeah,
building.
yeah, all that's gotta go. We're
Okay.
getting rid of all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you repeat the question when they say it?
Okay, yes.
Well, I'm
Sorry,
kind of-
you had a question? Go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, wow.
We made a list.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so my first question is, who from the White House is supporting this?
Okay, I'll take that. Okay. So we have met with several congressmen. We have met with state senators. We are presenting the plans right now. We do have a direct channel. We have no firm commitments. I'm just telling you that once we close on this property, we are going to die making sure that anybody and everybody from either side of the aisle, we don't care. We care about community. We're going to get it done. So you have my undying commitment that we're going to get the White House to support this. Okay? Number two. Number two, go ahead.
Okay, number two, who will pay to fund the sports field? Is it the taxpayer money?
No, it's all private investment and grants.
Everything.
Everything is private investment. We're not asking anything of you other than full transparency, full dialogue, and make sure that whatever it is we're doing, that we're shoulder to shoulder on. That's it. That's the only requirement from you.
All right, number three.
Number three, go ahead.
All right, this would be a taxable real estate property.
A taxable, yes, we'll be paying taxes on everything.
And number four.
The question was, is this a taxable real estate property? The answer is yes, it's going to be a taxable real estate property.
Okay, and number four, there's questions about the right-of-way for the railroad.
Okay.
They're asking, are you going to keep keeping it or are you going to keep removing it?
We're planning on keeping the railway, and depending on it just depends. If you guys want it removed, then you're shaking your head that you want it removed, then we're going to cater to what the community wants. So we will have that dialogue and discussion. So whatever it is that the mandate of the community is, we will adhere to. Throw away. Is everybody here okay with removing the railway? This gentleman wants to remove the railway. So this will be an ongoing discussion.
Sir, I'll get you in the back in a minute. Okay. Pete.
So the railway is the railway itself. Okay, got it. We'll have this discussion. Thank you
Pete,
for
all the
bringing
way,
it to our attention.
all the
Who's
way,
next?
Pete, all the way in the back.
All right, yes, sir.
Do have every talk depending on, and all the officials, how you're going to traffic in and out.
That is a very, very good question. What's your name, sir? Mike, thank you so much for that question. We will be working with you, with the state, with the community, with the DOT, with everybody, because that has to happen. What you said is an absolute must. It's not even if, it's a must.